Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick pick prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the flyweight bout between Kai France versus Amir Albazi. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going low confidence Amir Albazi to beat Kai France. At first I was Albazi. Did I shift to Kai France? No, to me I returned back to Amir Albazi and it's low confidence. Like I just can't really find a clear gauge for me to lean to either fighter with such confidence or at all. Because Amir Albazi, three of his four wins aren't even in UFC no more, or about to not be in UFC no more. Zalgas should have been cut. He's like on the chopping block, about to be cut. The other two guys definitely got cut, I think. Well, as Malcolm Gordon got cut yet, but if he hasn't been caught, he's cut. He's already on the chopping block. Then I think the other guy for definitely gone. So he for like three dudes that's not even in UFC no more. Then the other guy was just debuting, so he probably gonna be around. Maybe he has the best chance because he's still in the UFC to stick around. The other guy, like, y'all about to be done or are done. And so he has to afford the company. Now he's jumping in and fighting a guy who was just fighting for an interim title in his last fight against a guy who now is the champion yet again in Brandon Moreno. And he was looking pretty good up to the point when he didn't look good. Like he was losing, he started to look good, and then he got finished. So I don't know if that's good or bad thing for him, but hey, he was in there with the best, literally the champ, and he was, I guess, holding his own to make it competitive. What's his name? Albazi hasn't fought no one to that level. It's not like he even had that clear progression. Like, oh, he fought. Oh, that guy was. Oh, he fought. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some guy's name. Like, dude who played chess. I'm getting his name right now. But yeah, it wasn't no. There wasn't no clear progression. Like, oh, he didn't start. Oh, I rose up the top 15. I fought the number 15. I fought number 10. I fought number 7. Or at least I fought numbers. Yeah, like I just jumped and came on short notice. I beat number 8 or something, and then I get this matchup and I look good. It's like he still had not yet fought that good fighter and beating them. It's like he just jumped to the deep end really because Kakar France ain't too far from fighting for the belt. Like beating Kakar France could literally put you in a spot where you fight for the next fighter or the next title fight or at least put you win away from it. Versus if he was in his actual spot where he's at, he probably will probably be at least 2 fights away, 2-3 fights away. Now with this win, he could be literally the next guy to fight the winner, I mean, the 125 champion, whether it be Moreno or Pantoja, or it could be like one more win. So it's a big jump, to be honest, and that concerns me. But the thing is, I'm gonna lean to Albazi because he is the more well-rounded fighter. I feel like another thing, I feel Kai France does have, I guess, more fight experience, but he hasn't really went 5 rounds either. So it's not like you can say, oh, Kai France has been 5 rounds with this guy, been 5 rounds with that guy, main event this, been that. So they roughly both got around the same amount of experience as far as going the rounds. I feel like Kai France, most rounds he ever went was like 3. I think the most rounds as far as in the UFC for Albazi is 3. So they both got roughly the same experience, even though you have bigger fight experience. Distance-wise, y'all been going the same distance. I do like the fact that Albazi does mix it up more. Kai France takedown defense has been improving, but his offensive grappling hasn't been, at least he has not been showing it too much. So it's like you bring one dimension and kind of relying on the big shots and stuff. I can't really see him going out there for 5 rounds and doing that, where I felt like Albazi can set a pace with his wrestling and then started weighing on Kai France, whether he gets takedowns or not, it gives him a different look. Whereas with Kai France, you're just worried about punches and kicks. One thing I also don't like about Albazi, I feel like he just throws hands. I don't really see no much kicks from him. I feel like yes, you're gonna be the guy mixing the takedowns more and looking to grapple more. You're striking pretty good, at least against the level of competition you have for it. But where's your kicks at? I'm not saying that kicks are everything or necessary, but the more the merrier, the more the better. So I'm just noticing like at least but yeah. I just feel leaning Albazi ultimately low confidence. I just feel he's the more rounded fighter. They roughly got the same amount of experience. And like that's good and bad for both. But depending on how you flip the coin. But low confidence, I'm gonna lean to Albazi to mix it up and be able to win a scrappy decision against Kai France. I think it's gonna be a good scrappy fight, but I think the more diversity that Albazi will bring with his wrestling and his grappling, along with his striking, will slow Kai France down, and he'll be better able to read his strikes. And once you already come with one dimension, and your dimension starts to become more exposed and more clear, it's easy for the more well-rounded fighter to exploit the fact that you are coming with one skill set, at least offensively. And I feel Albazi will be able to do that, slow the fight down, mix his grappling, and then start to find more success as the fight goes on. And also, people say, "Oh, Kakar France has improved and did this against this and did this against that." And in one fight, he really beat a grappler. Like, in my honest opinion, if I was a judge, I would say he had lost it. I'm not saying he got dominated. I think it was a close fight, but I think he lost the fight. It's not like he was this guy that's a proven anti-grappler. He's not. Like I said, he's a good fighter. He's been working on his takedown defense, working on his grappling, but at the end of the day, he's not no true anti-grappler or anti-this, anti-that. So, like, I still think he's vulnerable to get grappled up. Not saying high vulnerable, but I feel if you, like, say you take it 5 rounds, steady, you start some takedowns, and start establishing some positions, I feel like he can be exploited, and eventually those takedowns start to open up more where you start to put your weight on him. You start to mix up on him, maybe gain his respect on the feet, touch him with some power, whether you drop him, hurt him, or at least sting him a little bit. Then, like I said, you start opening up the avenues. You hurt him, you start having him like biting on feints and stuff. The takedowns open up. It's not like, thread off his back or anything or something like that. But hey, watch him pull off some get rocked and pull off an arm bar or something. But anyway, yeah, Albazi more well-rounded. Both got roughly around the same amount of experience as far as going rounds. I'm not saying overall rounds. As far as an individual fight, neither of them really been guys that's been going 5 rounds. It's been Albazi. Kakar France didn't go 5 rounds with Brandon Moreno. He got stopped. In the first fight he fought with Brandon Moreno was a 3-round fight. So, yeah, the man ain't really got no experience. He got experience training for a 5-round fight in the UFC, but he don't have experience going 5 rounds in the UFC. That's what I'm trying to point. So, again, going with the more well-rounded guy, Albazi, to mix it up and start to find out success with his takedowns as the fight starts to get deeper, and it is able to grind out a very close competitive why am I talking like this? A very close competitive decision over Kakar France. So in this one, I have Amir Albazi via decision.